Hi, this is Brian. Welcome back to the Optimal Living 101 Masterclass series. Today I'm thrilled to be chatting about Optimal Business 101, how to create a great business and get paid to change the world. This has been one of the most requested classes, and I've been looking forward to sharing my favorite ideas, and here we are. So my intention with this class is to support everyone from an aspiring entrepreneur to a solopreneur or a small business owner, all the way up to a leader in an organization of any size. All right, so our top 10 big ideas on Optimal Business 101, how to create a great business and make money changing the world. Number one, optimal capitalism. We need to look at the framework in which we're going to operate as we create an optimal business. John Mackey, Raj Sisodia wrote a book called Conscious Capitalism. John Mackey has been one of my deepest inspirations, CEO of Whole Foods. We're going to talk about him and his impact and wisdom many times throughout this class. We have 4 different qualities of a conscious business, an optimal business that we're going to talk about. They're purpose-driven, they're multiple stakeholder-oriented, they have conscious leadership, and they have conscious culture. We're going to unpack that a little bit more. The second big idea is the fact that your number one asset in your business is you, period. You are your company's greatest asset. Therefore, if you want to grow the value of your business, you need to grow the value of who you are as a human being. Everything we talk about in all the other classes comes into play here in Optimal Business 101. The third big idea is purpose plus mission. The number one hallmark of a conscious, optimal business is that they're purpose-driven. They have a purpose bigger than just making money. Now, of course, a business needs to make money, but we want to remember that profit to a business is like red blood cells to your body. You need it to live, but you don't live for it. We're going to unpack that some more. I think every single business has the exact same purpose, to make the world a better place. If your business isn't making the world a better place, then we're going to check in on that. Then we're going to look at your mission. What are you here to do? We're going to tap into some of the wisdom from Purpose 101. What do you love to do? What are you great at? And what does the world need? We need to find the nexus point of those 3 things, Jim Collins tells us, in Good to Great and Built to Last and Great by Choice. Fourth big idea is future casting. 10x plus moonshots plus high-hanging fruit. When you're clear on your purpose and mission, then you want to dream big. You want to see the future. Science says this is the most important quality in creating hope in your life and in leading a team. We'll talk about the correlation between hope and leadership. It's crazy. And then you want to have 10x thinking. Go for a moonshot. Go for high-hanging fruit. It's more complex and more challenging, but paradoxically, in many ways, easier to get than the low-hanging fruit, which everyone else is going for. We're going to talk about the importance of making a moonshot and not also going for a Mars landing and a Venus roving probe, which is what we did in the last iteration of our business. Fifth big idea. Once you've got that future casted, you want to climb Whoop ladders. You want to juxtapose that vision with reality and see that it's going to be challenging, then figure out how you're going to take the next baby step and the next baby step. Line up your dominoes, create the ladder, and execute your proximal goals. We'll unpack that. The 6th big idea is Astonish Spice. One of the key ideas of the conscious capitalism movement is the multiple stakeholder model. They have an acronym, SPICE, society, partners, investors, customers, employees. We want to astonish. The word astonish literally means to strike with lightning. That's what we want to do, astonish. The 7th big idea, ready, fire, aim. When I interviewed John Mackey, he inspired me with this idea. As a recovering perfectionist, I was ready. I got to get the whole plan all perfectly laid out before I do anything. And his big thing was, no, ready, fire, aim. And then when I interviewed him a couple years ago, I laughed about how impactful this was. And then he said, you know what? I actually believe in fire, ready, aim, even more than I believe in ready, fire, aim. We're going to talk about the importance of a minimum viable product. When you figure out your next goal, get to that goal and that milestone as fast as you can. Lean startup style. You cannot think your way to clarity. The 8th big idea, plan B plus C plus D plus E. Plan B. If you're like me, you think that plan A should work. Well, plan A almost never works. The greatest investors know this, and they invest in grit way more than they invest in a plan. Of course, we want to execute as well as we can, but we also need to know that pivots are part of the process. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Paulo Coelho's idea of wearing your scars like medals. You got to know it's going to be challenging, be willing to pivot. And I'll talk about some of my pivots and most influential lessons learned in that process. The ninth big idea is attention plus your number one deep work project. In a world in which we're constantly blowing our consciousness up with all kinds of stimuli, we have an opportunity to differentiate ourselves by preserving our attention. If you are your company's number one asset, which you are, your attention is your number one asset within that asset. You want to cultivate it. Do more deep work, get clear on what needs to get done today, and do it consistently. We're going to talk about that in more depth. And then the 10th big idea is grit plus your hero's journey. Grit. Scientists tell us it equals intense passion plus intense persistence. That's the essence of grit. You need to intensely be passionate about what it is you want to create and know that you need to have intense persistence to do it. Sounds a heck of a lot like a hero's journey. Ultimately, that's what entrepreneurialism is. The word entrepreneur comes from the root one who takes risk. You need to be willing to stretch yourself, put yourself on the hero's journey, and the world needs you to do that. Grit plus your hero's journey. Those are our 10 big ideas. Let's jump in now.